When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
All righty. Good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I should say Ask the Doctors this morning because it's me. That's Dr. Michael P. Lange and Dr. Susan Summerton. She is co-hosting the show this morning. Remember, this show is dedicated to you, the listener, so no matter how simple or complicated your questions are, we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. I'm a board-certified optometric physician. I'm also a certified nutritional specialist, the founder of the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida, as well as Fortifeye Vitamins. And I've been hosting Ask the Doctor for over 30 years now. I tell you, time flies when you're having fun. Started on a small AM station in Ocala, Florida. That was Country Jim Kirk gave me an opportunity. And now we're coast to coast in multiple cities all throughout the country, live video streaming all over the world. So depending on where you're watching or listening, it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. All right. Phone numbers are 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. We got a lot to talk about today. I do want to mention we got a BOGO. This is like BOGO week, okay? Buy one, get one free on Fortifeye Super Omega. So a lot of you guys and gals are taking this omega-3. We found a big pallet in the warehouse with 2,400 bottles on it and expires in November. So let me tell you, folks, these do not expire. I actually have a bottle from 2015 in my office that I show patients. Still looks brand new, crystal clear, no cloudiness, no brown color. So they don't expire. They're good for an easy 2 years after expiration date, as long as they're kept in an air-conditioned environment, not in the trunk of your car in the summer in Florida. So remember, gel caps heat up, so don't keep them in a heated environment. So that's Fortifeye Super Omega right now. Buy one, get one free at fortifeye.com. Also, the Fortifeye Macular Defense and the zinc-free Macular Defense. I said, what the heck? A lot of people are taking that right now. We're going to do a BOGO on that one as well. So since we didn't do the fall festival this year at the Lange Eye Institute, we may still do it, but who knows? I'm running this BOGO because a lot of you are taking the Super Omega and the Fortifeye Macular Defense and the zinc-free Macular Defense. So take advantage of that. Buy one, get one free at fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. And the phone numbers are 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. I also want to mention the Fit Fest. I will not be in the Fortifeye Nutrition Center next week. It will be closed. Arlene won't be there either next week. We'll be there this week, this Saturday. I might come over right after the show, only for about 30 minutes to an hour. I'm taking the family to the beach today. So I might come over about 11 to 11:30 in Clearwater. So if you want to see me, get over there early, 11 to 12. I'll be there, and then I'm heading over to the beach. So next weekend is the Fit Fest. It's a sports festival, fitness expo at the not at the Lange Eye Institute, at the Expo Hall at the Florida State Fairgrounds. So remember, next Saturday and Sunday, Florida State Fairgrounds. They have the Fit Fest Sport Festival and Fitness Expo, and that's August 19th and 20th. Doc Hall will be there. I'll be there. Mandy will be there. Arlene will be there. Mackenzie, my daughter, will be there. My wife, Tammy, will be there. We're going to have the whole team at the Fortifeye booth. Come on by. We're going to have an amazing special for all of the Fortifeye supplements. We'll certainly be running that BOGO if the vitamins aren't gone by then, the ones on the BOGO. So remember, that's the Fit Festival at Sports Festival at the Expo Hall at Florida State Fairgrounds next week. All right, I'm going to introduce Dr. Susan Summerton. Dr. Summerton is also a certified nutritional specialist like myself. She's a diplomat in the American Clinical Board of Nutrition. She's also a fellow of the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society. She's the only eye doctor in the state of Florida with all of these credentials. And she's been with the Lange Eye Institute almost a year now. She's doing a bang-up job. I tried to hire her 15 years ago and kind of wined and dined her for 15 years to try to get her join the team, and now we have. Susan, good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here, and thank you for having me. And I am super excited about this special that you got going. I did want to mention it because it is flying across the shelves here with our patients this week. That fish oil, which we all know is so important to be good quality. And this is high potency, triple strength, that triglyceride form. A lot of our patients don't know the key to the fish oil is that triglyceride form, and they go to the store, they know they're supposed to be taking the fish oil, but they don't know what kind of fish oil to take. So our job is to educate you and also research and make sure we're giving you the best quality to make sure it does absorb, to make sure it does benefit the eye health that we mostly use it for, but it has those extra side benefits of heart health, brain health, joint health, helps the skin, the hair, the nails, helps your mental health, the cognition, all kinds of benefits that we just want to make sure you're getting the right quality fish oil to get those benefits. And now, Dr. Lange, you're offering that amazing special. It's the best time ever to buy it. It's incredible.
It really is. I mean, buy one, get one free. You can't beat that. And also, I just wrote an article on glaucoma and omega-3 fish oil and incorporated all of the links to the studies. So there's a lot of good evidence that if your omega index, your omega-3 in your blood is higher than normal, if you have glaucoma or suspicious for glaucoma, it can be beneficial. Also beneficial for dry eye, beneficial for macular degeneration, and diabetic retinopathy. There's a study out there for diabetics showing you're 50% less likely to go blind from diabetic retinopathy if you are taking some omega-3, either from a good source of fish, like sardines, anchovies, mackerel, herring, or wild Alaskan salmon, or taking a good triglyceride form omega-3 fish oil like Fortifeye Super Omega. All right, we got some people loading up. Once again, phone numbers are 1-877-969-8600, 1-877-969-8600. You can go to my website, simply drmichaellange.com, and that'll take you to our podcast channels and everything, all of our other sites as well, drmichaellange.com. And, join the YouTube. A lot of you might want to watch some of these videos or shows later in the week or later in the year. All of the shows for about 12 years are on our YouTube channel, and that's simply Ocular Health with Dr. Michael Lange. So Ocular Health with Dr. Michael Lange, or you could just go Dr. Michael Lange YouTube. Make sure it's the Ocular Health one because I have another one as well. But Ocular Health, drmichaellange.com. And remember, Instagram, I have a blue check. We got a lot of followers, so that's verified. There's a lot of fake Instagram and Facebook pages out there. I want to just mention this. I mean, 20 times a day, I get people calling the Lange Eye Institute, emailing me, texting me, stating that they've been scammed by somebody. And this is a problem. It really is. People are stealing my images and trying to gain access to you and get your trust. And then they ultimately ask you for money after they gotten your trust. It's not me asking you for money. Believe me, I'm not talking to you on the internet. If you think you're talking to me, it's not me. I'm very busy. It's a scam. If you put Dr. Michael Lange on Instagram, 200 fake Instagrams come up. It's pretty sad. And I don't know what we can do about it. The FBI has been involved. The police, private investigators have been involved. And we've caught some of the people, but there's literally thousands of those things going on. All right, let's go to the phones. Bob's been waiting for about a half an hour. Good morning, Bob. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, doctors. Pleasure to talk to you both this morning. My question today, good morning, Susan. I wish I would have known what the topic was before we started because I probably could have gone pretty good with omega-3. But that being said, last week I shared with you, I know a young man, 18 years old, that is afflicted with nosebleeds, spontaneous, doesn't require anything. Just all of a sudden he starts to bleed. I talked to you last week, and you suggested some potential causes of it. And after the show, I knew that, digesting what you had told me, that none of the potential reasons for that applied to him. So I went and took my portable brains and searched a little bit, and I came up with hemophilia. I have since encouraged him to get some blood work done to verify one way or the other. But if it is hemophilia, what is the holistic approach to dealing with hemophilia?
Well, that's a great question. And if it is hemophilia, first of all, he's going to have to go to his primary care physician, have some blood work done. It could be a whole host of things like we mentioned in the last show. It could also be something called idiopathic thrombocytopenia as well. So there's a lot of things that can involve the blood that can cause things to thin out, and I had mentioned, he needs to get off of blood thinners. He needs to be off of super high dosage of any vitamin that thins the blood, aspirin, Advil, Aleve, unless his doctor actually tells him to. That alcohol, a lot of people are boozing it and drinking a lot of booze that thins the blood out, and then they take aspirin because they have a hangover. And obviously you would know if he's doing that probably or not. Vitamin K is important also. So eating your dark green leafy vegetables. I'm definitely not an expert in that area. Dr. Summerton, do you want to chime in on this at all?
Well, hemophilia is typically inherited. So that tends to be something you're going to find earlier in life. I'm not sure the age of him, the milder forms do kind of show up later in adulthood, but it is something that tends to show up where you just don't have that clotting factor. So there tends to be other symptoms of bleeding other than the nosebleed, and it can be a very serious condition.
Right. So that's something we can certainly research more on. I think, a diet consistent with the Lange survival diet. All right. Getting out all the foods that are bad, an anti-inflammatory type of diet, at least a Mediterranean diet. But I've taken it to the next level. I've kind of combined the Mediterranean diet with the paleo diet and the keto diet and the plant paradox diet all into the Lange survival diet. So, see if you can start adjusting his diet a little bit and do some of the things that we talked about.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like I said, I know him, and all of the more typical reasons are not a part of this young man's life. So that's why I went searching to see if there was an alternative to that, because there's no still bleeding. So
right, and he's not. Bob, you got to make sure he's not a nose picker either.
No, he's not.
Okay. All right.
Vitamin C and vitamin K.
Yep, vitamin C and vitamin K for sure. That's what we talked about. Eating some organic kale that's gently steamed, and an orange with the citrus bioflavonoids intact. That's the white pulpy stuff. So eat that whole orange with the white pulpy stuff, and or take some vitamin K and some vitamin C. All right, Bob.
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you, doctors. Talk to you next week.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
You're listening to Ask the Doctors. It's Dr. Susan Summerton and myself, Dr. Michael Lange. Give us a call at 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. One more time, 1-877-969-8600. I do want to mention at the Lange Eye Institute, we've got a amazing optical now. So we just got a whole shipment of frames in. We've got the Cartier, we've got the Gucci and the Fendi and the Christian Dior and the Chloe and David Eden, Oliver Peoples. I mean, we've got a whole host of really amazing frames. You got to check these Cartiers out. I mean, Cartier's got to be one of the top frames, the best quality made in the world. You pay a little premium for them, but they're really good. Look at Scoobs. It's time for a Cartier frame for you, isn't it?
These things have been 13 years now that I got
13 years and you're still looking stylish.
Unbelievable.
That's
all over the world.
That's Scuba Scott. He's kind of like my Ed McMahon. For those of you that are a little bit older, remember Johnny Carson? And Ed McMahon would every now and then chime in and say something. and Scoops has been on the Lange survival diet, and he's cutting some pounds down. Going to be a lean, mean fighting machine, walking down the beach in a thong next year. All right, so I want to talk about something. And I think Dr. Summerton is going to chime in on this as well. We've got some new technology at the Lange Eye Institute. We've got a lot of really cool technology. We've got this new digital device. It's called Optomap California, and it enables us to look way out in the periphery of the eye. But so it's looking for disease, but more importantly, we paid a little extra to get something called autofluorescence. And so that's fundus autofluorescence. And this is a way to document something called fluoropores. And these are chemical structures that fluoresce when a certain frequency of light is actually shined in. And what we're doing, we're looking for a metabolic waste product called lipofusion, and it accumulates in the retinal pigmented epithelium. So I'm throwing a lot of big words at you, right? Fluoropores, retinal pigmented epithelium, lipofusion, autofluorescence. Basically, this helps us detect retinal disease and many other diseases in the earliest stages. So not only macular degeneration, but central serous retinopathy, retinitis pigmentosa, Stargardt's disease, Best's disease, people that are taking hydroxychloroquine, which is Plaquenil, for collagen vascular diseases and autoimmune diseases. A lot of you are on these drugs called hydroxychloroquine or Plaquenil. It helps detect toxicity in the early stages. And diabetic retinopathy, we can detect diabetic retinopathy very early. And one that we're going to talk about a little bit more on this program is choroidal nevises versus melanoma. So this is a big problem. A choroidal nevus is just usually a freckle in the eye, okay? And we have to differentiate between this freckle being a benign entity or a malignant melanoma. And so we're going to expand more on that. But this technology called autofluorescence, and we also have something called RHA, it allows us to look at this and determine whether or not it's cancer or non-cancer. Then we can take it to the next level, run ultrasound called B-scan. We can do OCTs. So once again, FAF or autofluorescence helps to detect, monitor, and diagnose choroidal melanoma versus choroidal nevises. And it gives us that ability that many offices do not have. And we're going to chime in, and I'm going to let Dr. Summerton expand on that. She's really in tune with it. But first, we're going to go to John in Colorado. John, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Lange. Hey, I try to listen to you every Saturday when I can.
Right.
And if I can, I go back and watch your YouTube video. So I'm glad you have the replay.
Awesome.
So, sir, my question is, I'm 71 and I still go to the gym at least 3 times a week. And my son, he lives down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and he asked me the other day, last month. He said, "What do you recommend for a pre-workout and post-workout?" So I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll send you something." And I ordered your whey protein isolate and your Fortifeye Fit, and I told him to use the Fortifeye Fit for the pre-workout and the whey protein for the post-workout. So I ordered that for him. But my question is, on high cholesterol, my son had his checkup, and he said he had high cholesterol, and the doctor wanted to put him on something to lower that. And I said, well, let's wait a while and do some research and see if we can do something naturally. So I know this question might be off the subject, but that's what I'm asking you, if you had any recommendations.
Well, that's a great question. And I'm always apprehensive about, making any recommendations and really endorsing statin drugs without seeing the patient and knowing a little bit more. But remember, statin drugs can lower cholesterol, but can also interfere with, your muscles. It can cause a lot of muscle cramping. And for young people, that can be a big issue, especially if you're going to the gym. So certainly I think diet is important, something again like the Lange survival diet, exercise. One of the biggest things is to get down to his ideal body weight. He might be a lean, mean fighting machine already, but if he has excess body weight, he's got to lose it. He's got to get down to the ideal body weight. So cardiovascular exercise will help. That will lower his LDL but most importantly, raises HDL. Okay. Omega-3 fish oil, take advantage of this BOGO on our Super Omega, and I'd usually recommend 2. That can also help raise the HDL. All right. Now, so you think about this. Oftentimes you go back to the doctor and say, oh, your cholesterol went up on the fish oil. Well, the cholesterol total number may go up, but the ratio may improve. So if you're doing a lot of cardiovascular exercise, HDL goes up, add omega-3, HDL goes up, your number might go up, but that ratio to the bad LDL versus HDL improves. Okay. Also, niacin can help, right? The niacin that causes you to flush. So just always be, let them know that if you take the niacin that causes a flush, you will get kind of red and feel a little freaky for the first 20 minutes, but that's pretty normal. So the combination of diet, omega-3, exercise, a little niacin, all that can be beneficial, but I certainly recommend following his doctor's advice, but also looking at other blood chemistries, things like C-reactive protein, homocysteine, triglycerides. If all of those are pretty normal and his cholesterol is just a little off, maybe work with getting it down naturally, if you can. And certainly if the doctor is open to that. Some doctors say, absolutely not, take the drug or I'm going to dismiss you and get another doctor. But most doctors are, open to, if you're going to do some lifestyle modifications and dietary modifications, if you would do that. But a lot of doctors realize most patients won't do that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to forward this information to him. And sir, I love listening to your show on the weekends. And thank you very much, Dr. Lange.
And John, also, I think you might know if you've been watching us on social media that we've got the new Fit Pro. We finalized it. We got everything finalized. Now we're working on the label and FTC approved label claim and all of that. So I'm hoping in a couple of months, we're going to have the new Fit Pro. It's only the enhanced version of the Fit, and it was going to come in 5 flavors: strawberry, watermelon, fruit punch, pina colada, salted caramel, and what is one other one? Do you know the other flavor? Blueberry lemonade. And we've all been trying it. Dr. Summerton, Dr. Hall, myself, we've been trying it with the staff, and everybody loves it. So our current Fit, due to the high amount of branched chain amino acids, has kind of like a sweet tart taste. It's a little sweet and a little sour all at one time. And since we're adding whey protein, we're able to take the branched chain amino acids out. So we get rid of that bitterness. So now the product is actually delicious. It tastes like it's bad for you, but we took all the sugar out and the majority of the carbs out too. So we're enhancing the already amazing Fortifeye Fit. It's going to be called Fortifeye Fit Pro.
And this will still be a pre-workout?
Yep, it'll be used pre and post-workout, right? And so what you're going to do, it's going to come with a scoop, a little bit smaller scoop, and you can take 1 scoop. We're giving you more servings. 1 scoop a day is going to be 30 servings. If you want to maximize your benefits, you take a scoop before and after working out, then that's going to be 15 servings. Where before it was 10 servings. So we're giving you more, and we're giving you a better product, and we're raising the price because our price went up a little bit, only $3.
Okay. Sounds good. I look forward to getting that.
All right, John. Thanks for calling from Colorado.
And John,
you,
I
sir.
just wanted to add, talking to your son, when he's making those healthy lifestyle changes, you've got to give it time. Give it a good 3 months of the diet and the exercise with the fruits and vegetables, the healthy oils, because it's not going to be immediate. You're going to see immediate changes in the numbers with the statins, but with the diet changes, give it a good 3 months to get the effect. And also getting out in the sun. The sun uses the cholesterol to make that vitamin D. So you can make use of the cholesterol in a beneficial way by just getting more vitamin D levels up.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I'm going to give them all this information, and thanks again. I appreciate you taking my call.
Awesome. All right.
Pleasure.
Thanks for calling. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. Dr. Michael Lange and Dr. Susan Summerton. Give us a call at 1-877-969-8600, 1-877-969-8600. Remember, you can go to fortifeye.com, Fortifeye, to get the BOGO on the Super Omega and the Fortifeye Macular Defense and Zinc-Free Macular Defense. You automatically, when you order it, you order 1, you get 2. You order 3, you get 6. So you automatically get it. Remember, these do not expire on the expiration date, so you're going to be fine. Also, if you're still listening, increasing fiber, all right? So I'm not a huge fan of oatmeal unless it's organic oatmeal, steel cut, and you soak it overnight. So soak it overnight, put a little vinegar, apple cider vinegar when you soak it overnight. That reduces the phytic acid, then drain it off, and then you can cook it in the morning. So increasing fiber can help. Obviously, exercise and weight management, proper diet. The niacin I talked about, most of the studies indicate you should be taking 1,500 milligrams of niacin. That's vitamin B3. But I'd always recommend starting much lower because it does make you red as a beet. Remember the omega-3. Also, garlic can help with cholesterol. Curcumin, that's another one. So our new curcumin called curcugen, that's called Next Gen Curcumin, fueled by curcugen. That's made by Fortifeye. Also has some studies. You can Google that, curcumin and cholesterol. Eating some nuts and seeds that are sprouted, avocados, green tea, believe it or not, may be beneficial. And obviously things like cutting out the sugar and the refined carbohydrates, the booze, obviously no trans fats. And believe it or not, cutting back on caffeine. All this will help with cholesterol. All right, we're on a roll. Once again, phone lines are open, 1-877-969-8600, 1-877-969-8600. So, Susan, Dr. Summerton, I think 7 to 8% of the population out there has what we call choroidal nevises, and these are freckles in the retina. And I think that 8% is probably at the Lange Eye Institute because some of this new technology is enabling us to find these choroidal nevi a lot more frequently, really, than before. And the big key here is to differentiate these freckles between being the possibility of malignancy. Isn't that correct?
Right. And with our new technology, I agree. I think those percentages are going to be a little on the higher side just because we can diagnose it much easier and we can see much more of the retina than we could see before. This Optos that we have is incredible, giving us one big wide field picture of that retina so we can see everything together versus the older conventional technology that was just little section by little section. And these nevises, which we do call freckles, patients probably remember that when we're told that, but it's sort of like a skin mole that we watch. But we watch them because of that risk of turning into melanoma. Now, most people aren't, but we're going to carefully watch it because a lot to do with the size and the thickness. And this technology allows us to see any slight change because a slight change is a millimeter. A 2 millimeter difference really increases that risk of going into that cancerous lesion, and we don't want to see any of that. So we are going to be careful when we first diagnose them. We typically take a picture. We use that autofluorescence technology that you were talking about, and we even have a B scan that we can. It's like an ultrasound. This is kind of an easy one for our patients to do as well because they do it with their eyes closed, and we scan not just the nevus area, we scan the whole retina looking for any abnormalities. And I want to bring up too, the Optimap and the autofluorescent are also easy for the patient to do. It's just a bright light. It only takes a few seconds. It doesn't hurt. And it gives us so much information. And we want to make sure our patients stay as healthy as possible because that risk of going to malignancy, one in about 8,000 to 9,000 patients, it's not many, but we don't want any of our patients happening to them.
Amen. I think 2,000 people are newly diagnosed with malignant melanoma. And remember, you can not only go blind from this, but you can die from melanoma in the eye. So the key is early detection. So if for only 2 reasons to get an eye exam, to detect glaucoma and to detect, potential melanoma in the eye, those are important because you're totally asymptomatic with both of those. You have no pain, you have no blurred vision at all. So the key is early detection. So you can see clearly now an eye exam may not only be vision saving, it could ultimately be life saving. Remember, some of this technology can also pick up, clogged arteries and clogged veins and in the early stages. So we can potentially make a referral and decrease the chance of you having a heart attack or a stroke. All right. Thyroid problems, collagen vascular diseases, even sexually transmitted diseases can show up in the eye. So come on by the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida, state-of-the-art eye care facility. We've got myself with Dr. Susan Summerton, Dr. Lori Caputi, Dr. Richard Hall. Upstairs in his own retina department is Dr. Michael Tolentino, a world-renowned retina specialist in the Lange Eye Institute. And also we have a dental department, a podiatry department. We've got a lot going on in the Lange Eye Institute. And we have the whole allotment of the Fortifeye supplements and other supplements. And if you come to the Lange Eye Institute, you can have a free nutritional consultation with Dr. Richard Hall, who hosts the talk show with me every other week. So Doc Hall is an icon in the nutrition world, especially in the sports nutrition world. And remember, it's a free nutritional consultation. So call the Lange Eye Institute for that and set up an appointment. If you want to see Dr. Summerton, also call the Lange Eye Institute. I'm going to give you the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute twice right now. So get a pen, piece of paper, write it down. Here it comes. 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. Remember, we take Medicare, we take most insurances and most vision plans as well. We're getting ready to take another call in just 1 second. But before I go to the next call, Steve has been waiting patiently. I want to mention, I briefly mentioned curcumin and cholesterol. I want to tell you something about curcumin. It's kind of like fish oil. Most omega-3 is not very absorbable, and most curcumin is not very absorbable as well. So the only oleoresin food-grade curcumin on the market right now, and the first oleoresin food-grade curcumin is called Curcugen. That's the one we elected to use in our next-gen curcumin. And we studied this for years and years before doing this. And it contains polar resins, turmeric polysaccharides, essential oils from the turmeric root, and it's 52.5 times enhanced bioavailability over your typical C95 curcumin, 52.5 times. It suppresses something called nuclear factor Kb, that's NFKB, cytokines, prostaglandins, coenzymes. And when you combine it with omega-3, it's kind of the double whammy of fighting inflammation and pain in your body. And I call that omega relief. And if you go to our website, you can look at omega relief, and it's discounted. So you're getting both our super omega and our next gen curcumin at a discounted price. You get both of them. And like I said, it's called omega relief. So check that out. There's some really amazing studies right now using our curcugen for irritable bowel, for exercise-induced pain and inflammation, and for osteoarthritis. And there's an amazing safety study on it too. So it's backed by some good clinical studies. It's an evidence-based supplement. So check it out at fortifeye.com. It's called Fortifeye Next Gen Curcumin. All right, phone lines are open. 1-877-969-8600. 1-877-969-8600. I see somebody chiming in from Arizona. It's a little bit ways away. I have to lean in and see what it says, but let's go see what Steve has to say first. Steve, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Welcome to my call. Listen, what was that disease or condition that you said mimic melanoma in the eye?
All right, so choroidal nevus. All right, choroidal nevus can be, if it goes undiagnosed and it's not diagnosed correctly, it could be a choroidal melanoma in the eye. Absolutely.
Well, the reason that I'm thinking is there's another way you could differentiate between those two. Melanoma is named for melanin, which is your pigment in your skin. And it's a transducer. It acts very much in your skin like chlorophyll does in a plant. Now, what would happen is if you aimed an ultraviolet laser at melanoma, you should get more absorption than if you aim it at that non-melanoma. And if you could find a way to make a detector of how much is reflected back, you could calculate the differential and determine which of the two it is.
Well, I mean, when I was talking about this autofluorescence, it's interesting because you'll get this fluoresce on melanoma, a certain type of fluoresce coming out, looking at this lipofuscin, which is a metabolic waste product using autofluorescence. So, that's something that's, I don't know, maybe similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, what's very interesting is melanoma has a different chemistry. In other words, almost all the cells in your body use either one thing, fat or sugar, to burn energy. Those are our two major energy sources. Mm-hmm. Melanoma does not use that. It uses phenylalanine. it breaks those phenylalanine, those rings, and it derives most of its energy from from breaking phenylalanine.
So why don't we
So
make
I
a
don't know.
phenylalanine blocker? Steve, you could work on that. A phenylalanine
Well,
blocker, like a
you
beta
know,
blocker.
children with PKU have they put them on a low phenylalanine diet.
Right.
You know, and maybe that would be helpful if you had a melanoma in the eye.
Wow, that's interesting. I got to look into that. You bring up some interesting facts. You know, those things that make you go,
Well, it's sometimes when you're outside of a field, you can see things at a distance. You know how if you look through wax paper and you're real close to it, it looks cloudy, but if you put it far in front of you, you can see through it.
Right.
Sometimes when you're not in a field, you can actually see things in a different way easier. And it's just a second way to look at it.
And sometimes it also helps when you have an IQ of 10 billion like you do.
Well, that's a little overstated. It's only 9 billion, but no, but there's so many things that are interesting.
Absolutely.
And we have and in the next 2 years, have you noticed there's so many things that are happening in the world that have never happened before? Whether it's our politics or our economy or all these fires or hail everywhere in the world, in the next 2 years, you're going to see some miraculous healings in medicine because the same hyperdimensional energy that is causing all these things, the production, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Right.
Okay, this is what's happening right now. The physics is in a position where this energy, which is a completely different form of energy than any, you're going to see some remarkable, the natural food approach to things is going to be intensified, and it's going to be even more efficacious than it's ever been before. So we have a great 2 years ahead of us. There's going to be some bad things happening too, but there's going to be some really good things happening. And you're right in the core of it. So I just keep your eyes open and let's see what happens.
Amen, Steve. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Okay, God
Hey,
bless
Steve,
you.
I just wanted to add in the reason they chose that 532 nanometer for this autofluorescence for the choroid, nevi, and the rest of the eye. That lens, our natural lens, is going to filter a lot of that UV, and also these intraocular lenses filter the UV. So we actually don't want that UV getting to the back of the eye. And they chose green over blue because our macula, those xanthophylls, absorb that blue light. So green tends to be the best one to highlight what's in the eye in that layer.
Oh, that's really cool. That's good. That's even more interesting information because that fills in with a couple other things I was thinking about, but I do think I ought to give some other people a chance to talk.
All right, Steve. Thanks for the call. Have a
Okay.
great Saturday, my friend.
Okay, God bless you.
All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. Dr. Michael Lange and Dr. Susan Summerton. Give us a call. 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. Remember, we're running the BOGO for this week. Buy one, get one free on Fortifeye Super Omega. Remember, it expires in November. It's not really going to expire on that day. It's good for easily another year or two, believe me. And also the Fortifeye Macular Defense. I think it expires a month afterwards. And the zinc-free macular defense is buy one, get one free at fortifeye.com. Talking a little bit about, increasing macular pigment density and protecting the macula. We've got Fortifeye Focus. Fortifeye Focus we've had for years and years and years. It's one of the biggest sellers in our industry right now. And doctors are recommending it all over the country. Fortifeye Focus has lutein, zeaxanthin, isomers, and astaxanthin. But now we have Fortifeye Focus and Brain that might be overcoming. It's only like a few dollars more than Focus. It has the lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin, but we added a patented form of acetylcholine, a neurotropic called cognizine to it. And this actually supplies brain with energy. Studies show that it helps support focus, attention, memory. It nourishes the brain. It increases phospholipidcholine. There's some amazing science behind cognizine. Gamers are using this left and right to help when they're gaming for long periods of time. My mom, I've told everybody about this. My mom's memory has improved like 80%. She had some dementia 5 years ago, but now you would not even know it. She's improved so much cognitively. And the only thing different, I've put her on the Fortifeye Focus and Brain just once a day with her breakfast. So something to think about out there. It helps filter out the harmful blue light when you're on the computer in the digital world. May help with that memory and that brain fog that you have, but it's a way to nutritionally support the retina and the brain, but also helps support the skin and many other things as well. The caller, the actually text on there, I was able to see when Steve was calling, wanted to know what's in the Lange survival diet. So we're getting ready to take a call in 1 second. So Joe, just hold on for one more minute here. The Lange survival diet, I'm just going to go over it really quickly here. The vegetables in the Lange survival diet are mustard greens, organic kale, organic lettuce, organic cucumbers, bok choy, broccoli, turnip root, cabbage. It's the turnip root, not the greens. Bamboo shoots, water chestnuts, pickled vegetables, kimchi, anything that's fermented, okay? The fruits are pineapples, banana, lemons, limes, organic blueberries, organic strawberries, organic grapes, cantaloupe, and you can have an orange every now and then. The nuts that you eat, seeds you can eat are the macadamia nuts, hazelnuts, cashews, especially if they're sprouted, chestnuts, coconuts, olive oil you can have, coconut oil, macadamia nut oil, algae oil, avocado oil, and actually I allow sesame oil as well. The protein has to be grass-fed beef or bison, organic eggs, organic turkey, organic chicken, ostrich, wild game, wild salmon, sardines, anchovies, rainbow trout, goat's milk, goat cheese, goat kefir and yogurt, sheep milk, sheep cheese, A2 cow's milk. I do allow 3 times a week pseudo grains. That's buckwheat, amaranth, and quinoa. And every now and then you can have steel-cut oats as long as they're soaked overnight and they're organic. But Google Lange's survival diet and you'll see the whole kit and caboodle. All right, let's go to the phones. Joe in the Villages, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, doctor. February of this year, I acquired COVID and it caused a pulmonary embolism. And the doctor went with the 6-month protocol for Eliquis. I'm getting ready to get off that. Is there a natural blood thinner that I can take once I get off the Eliquis?
How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh?
120. Unfortunately, I lost about 15 pounds since I got sick. So right now I'm 120 pounds.
Right. So there's a lot of natural blood thinners, vitamin E, nattokinase, garlic, omega-3, curcumin, ginger. The ones out of those I like the best are omega-3, all right? I do like curcumin as well, all right? But remember, we talked about most omega-3 and most curcumins just aren't bioavailable. Most omega-3 you buy over the counter has an ethyl ester molecule. That means it has ethanol attached to the backbone, has to go through your liver every day to cleave it off. So a triglyceride form. And I don't mind mentioning a competitor. Nordic Naturals has a decent one. PRN has a decent one. But Fortifeye Super Omega, we have them made all in the same factories in Norway. It's just I'm a much smaller company, so I give you a higher dosage of EPA and DHA from the same fish, the same factory at a better price. That's why I don't mind mentioning our competition, because those are good products. They really are. We're just, I like to think better and cheaper. So omega-3 at your weight, you probably only need one a day. Okay. Obviously a little cardiovascular exercise, the proper diet, once again, like the Lange survival diet. And I wouldn't really overdo nutritional blood thinners. I would start with maybe the 2 I just mentioned. And then obviously let your doctor know, because they're going to want to do, look at prothrombin times and look at your blood to see how it's doing. But I think you'll be fine. And remember, these 2 also have some good antioxidant, but good anti-inflammatory properties as well. And they don't thin the blood too much. Okay. You really have to go to super high dosages of these to thin the blood a lot.
All right. One follow-up, doctor, to the omegas. I read where sometimes it can increase your cholesterol levels. Is that accurate?
Right. So it can increase your overall number because it can increase the HDL. That's the beneficial aspect of cholesterol. So your overall number will go up, but usually your ratio improves, the HDL to LDL ratio. And remember also, it depends on which fish oil they've been using. If you use the triglyceride form, like our Fortifeye Super Omega, our Super Omega Max, we've done numerous blood studies on patients and omega index studies. So we see inflammatory markers going down, and we've also seen cholesterol go down as well. So a lot of these omega-3s on the market, remember, are ethyl ester molecules. They got ethanol. that goes through your liver every day. Who knows what that does? Remember, the liver has to work efficiently for your cholesterol to be metabolized. So I think certainly, trying this and then seeing your doctor per his or her instructions, having your annual blood work done. And remember, diet too. So Google the Lange survival diet. If you're in the villages, come by the Lange Eye Institute. They'll give you a copy of the diet, and you can get those supplements there if you want. Or I'm not just trying to push Fortifeye, the other ones I mentioned. There's some other good products on the market, but there's not a lot. Most of them are, made in Asian countries, nothing against that. And most of them, they're cutting corners and giving you non-therapeutic levels of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, doctor. I'll be by the office then, because I am in the villages. So yeah, I'm definitely going to come on by. Thank you, sir.
All right, Joe. Take care.
For you too. Bye.
All right. Susan, you want to chime in there?
I wanted to add that nattokinase is kind of one of those that's been around, but that's actually an enzyme that's produced by fermenting soybeans. And there's some studies you can look up and talk to his doctor about that degrades that fibrinogen, those cytokines, those inflammation factors, that they does have some cardiovascular benefits in the clinical studies. But again, talk to his doctor whenever they're going off a blood thinner. It's something that needs to be monitored.
Absolutely. I agree. We always need to, push these things by your doctor and make sure they're aware of supplements, not only medications, but any supplement that you're taking as well. I want to talk a little bit more about this focus and brain. So the focus and brain, even just the focus, there's some new studies out there and some preclinical studies with brain functioning and the astaxanthin. And Karen Heck has been a guest on Ask the Doctor many times over the years. But not only can this astaxanthin improve accommodative ability and reduce eye strain, it can increase macular pigment density with the lutein and zeaxanthin, blue light protection, like I said. But the acetylcholine that's in the focus and brain, remember, energy to the brain, decreasing brain fog. But the combination of all these, the lutein, the astaxanthin, the zeaxanthin, the cognizine, all cross the blood-retinal barrier and the blood-brain barrier. So not only are they giving nutritional support to the retina, they're also giving you nutritional support to your brain. So think about that. Fortifeye Focus, or go that extra mile and spend a couple extra dollars and go to Fortifeye Focus and Brain, especially if you're aging and you have those moments where you just think, what did I come into this room for? I forgot. And like I said, gamers are using it too. We actually have another label on it. It's the same product, but it's called Gamer Extreme for all of you out there that are gamers. Dr. Summerton, we just got some new amniotic membranes in that are different sizes. And I think we got a little time to talk about that because you do more amniotic membranes. That's kind of an area of expertise of you than most, eye doctors in the country, and rightfully so because it benefits the patient. So let's just expand on that briefly.
Our amniotic membranes, they are actually stem cells. We kind of took that idea from wound care and burn victims on how effective they are at healing the skin. We've now been able to make it into a very small, very thin disc that we apply to the eye, the front of the eye, the surface, the cornea. So anything that's a problem with the cornea, from as simple as dry eye, I shouldn't say simple because dry eye can get complicated, but any corneal injury, we're able to heal that area very, very effectively, usually within about 5 days of applying that membrane. It's pretty pain-free, and we put a bandage contact over it, and we just see all those cells heal. And the benefit of healing the cornea quicker, we've got less chance of scarring. Those cells heal tighter together, because before, even with a corneal injury, it would be what we call erode later because those cells didn't bond tightly and then be ongoing problems. So now we can heal it more effectively, less scarring. The patient's happier, we're happier, and it's just amazing the healing quality of them.
Awesome. The music's on, so we're going to have to tell everybody goodbye. I want to mention Logan's in optometry school in Pikeville now. He just moved up there yesterday. Remember the Fit Fest Sports Expo next weekend at the Expo Hall at the Florida State Fairgrounds. Come on out and check it out. Remember, we got the BOGO going on. Buy one, get one free on the Super Omega and the Fortifeye Macular Defense. All right, you got 5 seconds to tell everybody goodbye, Susan.
Have a wonderful day. God bless.
All right, thanks for tuning in and listening to Ask the Doctors. I'm Dr. Michael Lange. We're out of here. Have a great day. God bless you, and God bless America.